Hi everyone, this is Diane, and I'm here to do some more ephemera for these fun eclectic journals with the lace-up paper doll. So I just have been working on mine and adding some more ephemera, so that's what we're going to do for books number 2 and 3. So I'm going to start with these colorful library pockets, which I've had for quite some time. I purchased them from Amazon, and I don't remember if they came with the cards or if I got them separately, but this is what we're going to use as a little decorative pocket. And I have these digitals. I can't remember where they're from, but I'll try to find them and send you a link, give you a link in the description box. I'm not going to send it to you, but you can find it below if I have found it. So I think they're really cool. I like the shape. They might be from Red Deb, but I am not sure. The top note shape, and then the ledgers and lines on them. And I think I printed them twice. I don't remember how many there are in how many pages. So anyway, I'm just going to glue one of these to the front of the pocket. It's going to be a nice simple pocket. I will add some KB and Friend embellishments though. So I have this little pouch here is all full of KB and Friends ephemera. See what we have here. That would be super cute. Okay, that will do. It says occasion. I don't know if I'll use it there. See if I have another one. Nope. I might use these tabs. Gotta put these away so they don't get scattered all over my table. So if I can put this occasion label there, then I can, if it'll fit, put this one that says date and place. They are adorable. I took some vintage ads and just glued them to cream colored cardstock. And I'll just cut them out and add them in here and there throughout the journals. And I will probably sew with black thread around them. But I might not. So I'll just, cut the rest of those out and I'll have those ready to use. Next thing I have is I'm going to make a text spot with these flashcards. They are fraction and percentages flashcards, and I sewed around them and I sewed on this Borden coupon. So I was thinking maybe I would use these tabs on this. Okay, there we have a couple of nice text spots, and I'm going to use these time cards that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to embellish them. Those are going to be the tags that get tucked in there. I will embellish them with these pattern book images cut out and just a little scrap of cardstock behind them for a little interest. And put a hole in the top and add some reinforcements. I cut these out with a die. I have, it comes with quite a few strips that have different shapes of hole reinforcers. And it's great to use on scraps of cardstock. And they came from Elizabeth Craft Designs, if I'm not mistaken. So when I have scraps, I often will use those dies, and then I put them in the little boxes that you just saw. This set came from the Dollar Tree, and there were maybe 10 each of, I don't know how many different designs. I'm thinking 5, but I don't remember. And I didn't even realize it when I bought it, that they were all the same. It was kind of cool. See, this one has red on one side and green on that side. So I thought these did also. This is the green side, but when I flipped them over, they were white on the back. That's great for journaling space. Okay, so those are set, and they will go in these pockets, text spots. I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna put the non-sewn pieces on the outside because paper clips tend to get caught on the stitching. So those are ready to go. The next thing is pockets made with these yearbook images. So we have some cheerleaders and we have the brass section of the band. And I'm just going to glue them to some cardstock. You can find all kinds of fun images in your yearbook, old yearbooks. I will sew around them with black thread, and I'll show you what it looks like in my book. I'm using it on a fabric, a ticking fabric. So it's a sturdier fabric, but I have some majorettes here. And I just sewed it on there for a little pocket. And that's where that flashcard pocket will go. I'm going to put a eyelet in them and a bulb pin, and they will just be dangling on the ticking fabric. So you can see I put a jump ring between the bulb pin and the eyelet so it will dangle freely. So I will do that with these. A stack of Star-Kissed tuna and a can of Comstock pie-sliced apples. This is a fun element. I got a pack of these at the flea market this year. And they were some sort of a service card for automobiles. 1951 Ford. And I'm not sure what they were marking on here, but there's little black markers that are on different spots. Like the one on mine only has one. But I wanted to use this side of the card because there is space to write on this side. But I wanted those black spots. So on mine, I just took the spot off. It's a sticker. And just glued it to this side. Even though it's not marking, this is marking a month because it has the months all along there. This is probably one of the unique pieces I picked up from Bob. Things you wouldn't even know were out there. This just adds some interest. And then I have these vintage gift cards, little gift tags that you'd put on a package. And I want to embellish it with one of these. That elephant one is cute. This one. I have this one on mine, little kitten. And a little doggy. So cute. Takes up more space than these little kittens, but that's okay. It's cute. So then I will add that as a tuck spot and put in some vintage pieces. The next thing I have is these. What am I doing with these? I've got a bunch of cardstock pieces to choose between for these. I just have to remember what I'm doing with them. Oh, it's one of these pockets. I need to make one of these pockets, but I didn't pull pieces out for that. This one is this piece of cardstock and this piece of cardstock, and then I added this strip at the top of this and some fabric at the top of that. I didn't pull out pieces to do that with, so we'll skip it for now. I think I need to add something to that so it doesn't get lost down there. So what we're doing right now is this pocket. I'm going to use this to help me cut the cardstock to size. And I took a full sheet of a magazine page advertisement just to glue onto the back of this book page. So I'll be doing that. I have some pages pulled to choose from. And I just need to decide which of these ads I'm going to use. Thinking I'll use these. Just cut that in half. Getting time to replace that blade. So to be careful, I'm not going to bring it onto the page, onto the paper, because I think it would just grab the edge and tear it. So I put it part way on, go back up, and then go down. That helps sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't help. Oops, I cut off part of the word. I had to stop the video because my mother called, and now it's a whole different day. So I have been working, so I'm going to bring you up to speed. This is what I was working on when I stopped the video. So I did add these to some scraps of cardstock that I had, sewed them on, punched a little divot there, so they will be added to a page. I'm not working on the pages for journals 2 and 3, the ones that will go in my shop. I'm just making ephemera right now. And I did that. I think that page is all done. We did that. Okay, so here I have this little dangle with a vintage magazine image, and I had shown you these, and I did go ahead and put the eyelet on and the brad or the bulb pin. So I will attach it to a ticking stripe page when I get the pages ready. And I do have these two pictures ready. I did show them to you, but I sewed around them. I think I had glued them to the blue cardstock, and so they will be a pocket. And it's a different shape than that one, so I think I'll have things tucked in the sides of these. So those are done. Okay, so I need to make the double pocket there. So I did some work on that because I had to do a lot of it by sewing machine. So I just took the same background page, this yellow collage-y looking piece, and then a scrap, cut off scrap to make the pocket, and another little scrap to sew on to make the pocket a little bit taller. And this one I even had to piece on to make that one long enough. And I added some fabric to the top. So these are all made as far as pockets go, but I want to add just a little bit of embellishment to the front there. I'm going to see if I have a vintage label to add. Let's see what we have. That's a pharmacy label. Looks like it's something for bronchitis, asthma, influenza, the grip, which is the flu, catarrh. Looks like it does a little of everything. These are from hotels. They are too big for what I'm doing here. I have all these little pharmacy labels. I think they would be fun. Okay, so these are both vintage pharmacy labels. Oops. To remember that's a pocket there. Now I'm going to look for a number, a die cut number. did it go? Oh, my sleeve probably brushed it over. And these pockets are ready to be added to their page. They'll just be going on a scrapbook paper page. Okay, next, let's see what's next. We already made that pocket, and I have these made. I think I showed them to you. Oh, we're going to do this one. So this is just a large card I wanted to put in that large pocket. So these are from a book on how to use these pen nibs. And I already made these. I was thinking about sewing around them, but I don't think I will. And I love this one. But this one is really cool because it actually shows the pen, little sketches of the pen nib to show you how to turn it to make these letters. That's pretty cool. So those are ready. And we did these yesterday, or earlier in this video. It was yesterday for me. Now I have this page, which is wallpaper. And I have a ticket, which is an old Tim Holtz ticket. So I have a couple set aside for the other two journals, but I don't need to do anything with them. And I have these vintage tickets to go in the pocket. This is transportation. I don't know what this is for. Oh, for participation in valuable premium distribution on the day advertised. And these are theme park tickets for Six Flags Great Adventures, but they're vintage. And then we have this pocket, which is one of these cards that were a cut apart in a scrapbook paper I've had for a very, very long time. I've had these pieces cut out for a long time. Most of them are oriented this way, so I was glad to find a couple that can go that way. So all I have to do is glue these on and insert some things. I took these vintage Denison labels and just glued them to this yellow paper, vintage paper. So they will go in one of these pockets. So all this requires now is gluing. Here you see I have a wax seal with my initial on it. That was my husband's little imprint that he had. I don't know if he got it when he was in the Milton Hershey school. But anyway, I ended up with it, obviously, and I used it to make a couple of wax seals. So I can't find where all my wax seal stuff is, but I do have some already made. So I'll just have to go with what I have made. I have another one with the H. And green was his favorite color. So this one has a plume, and it's kind of a bluish purple wax. It's like a feather pen kind of a thing. And this one is a rose. So I think I'll just glue them onto these doily pieces. And they'll be used to embellish a page. I haven't used my wax seals in a long time, and so I don't know where I put the supplies for making wax seals. So I'm sure I will find them as I go through and do more destashing and organizing here. This is a torn off piece of a very old 1924 ledger page, monthly expense figure sheet. So I just decorated the wallpaper edge with that, and I have some pieces ready to do that with in the other two journals. All right, this one just has a ruffle that it was already made. I just glued it down, and I want to make a tuck spot with a vintage greeting card like this one. So I have this and this that I selected to make a tuck spot. They are smaller, especially this one. Let me see. Yeah, I could use 2 pieces of this and make it a bigger pocket. This one is, you know, it's a good size. It'll work. But we'll do 2 of this little elephant guy. I didn't pick out a piece of cardstock to go on this, to go behind it. I just used white on this one. I just glued it to white cardstock and just cut around it. This one was water damaged, and so the red on her bonnet, the pink, bled onto her face. But I really like the picture, so I went ahead and used it. And these are 2 game sheets. This was a Sherlock Holmes game, and this is a bridge, very old bridge score sheet. And then this is a page from a autograph book. I glued some digital paper that I already had printed to the cardstock, and then this is a piece of a ledger page. I put some blue ticking on it, and I glued this image, and then I just glued this gift inclusion card on that. So this just involves gluing stuff. This I need to make, and then I don't have anything on the back of this yet. So I'm going to grab some cardstock. I just don't know. Let me pick out a digital page so I know what color I want to make these. This is a bunch of digitals that I already have printed. So I think I'll use this one for that. That'll be glued to the page, and then this will be a pocket. And I used a scrap of a black and white digital at the bottom to fill in. I think this one will be okay. I like that. Yeah, this one. Okay, so now I just need to pick out, I think actually I'll just use a cream. This one has white, this one has cream. Let's go with that. So here's white. You'll be able to see the white through there. And it doesn't need to be the full size of the page. could make it more interesting by trimming around some of that, but I think I'll just leave it. I'm afraid if I cut around the shape of the elephant heads that they would get lost in the pattern of the wallpaper behind them. So we'll leave that bright red background. Let me make sure this is not too big. Oh, it is just about, so I'm going to trim off the edges. So for this one, I might sew around it with a black thread just to give it a border, since I'm cutting off the border. But the cardstock is giving it some stability. Okay, so I'll just clip these to these. I'll give them It's going to be fun to put these second and third ones all together with all the stuff done. At least I hope it will. So we don't need to do anything else for that page at this point. Is that everything? I did make these, I cut out these cards, digital images, or not digital images, vintage magazine images, advertisements. So I cut them out and sewed around them so they can be tucked into pockets. These are the tickets I had ready, so they can be clipped with this. These are the pockets and the tickets. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do today is make a corner flip pocket for each of the remaining 2 journals, and I'm just going to add this embellishment that I die cut, little scallop circle, and a milk bottle cap. And then it will be glued to a page like this. You can open it up and write on it. So this is pretty simple. Aren't they cute? I wanted to get milk bottle caps in here somewhere. Okay, let's see if we can remember what we did today. Go back. Okay, so these are the time cards. And these, they will be tucked into these tuck spots made out of flashcards with the board and coupons on them. And then we did these. I still have to pull the black dots off of this side and put them on this side, just for interest. The library pockets with KB and Friends digitals. These are purchased library pockets and cards. This was a digital, and then those were, oh, those are digitals also. I don't think this is KB and Friends, but this is. And I think these two pieces are. Then we did these pockets with different, it's a double pocket. You know, I didn't even think about that when I glued that number down. Well, we'll just have to put a smaller card in there. And these will be pockets, little side tucks. We have these little danglies. And these pockets. And the wax seals glued to little doily pieces for embellishments. These are journal cards. And these will be pockets. They just have to be glued down. And then this pocket that we just did, and these pockets made with vintage 1940s greeting cards. So we're coming along. We've got, look at all this stuff up here. These are set aside to go into journals numbers 2 and 3. So I've got quite a collection here of stuff. Pretty fun. I don't know if I will do any more videos making ephemera. I think I might just finish up the ephemera. I don't know how much I'm going to do in mine that I will then have to do for the other two. So maybe it's possible I could do another video just doing ephemera, but I'd like to have the next journal or the next video be putting the pages themselves together, building them up if necessary, or gluing things to the pages, fabrics and whatnot. So I don't know what the next video will be. I'm just having fun, and I'm still trying to take my time and not feel rushed to get it done. So I'll see you in the next video, and I hope you're having a creative day. Bye.